Let me ask you this. How many students are ready to train with you right now, but you can't take them on because you don't have another aircraft? You've got the demand, but adding a plane feels impossible without dropping $500,000 in cash or credit. That's the single biggest brake on flight school growth. Capital, and it doesn't have to be. Today, I'm going to show you why leasing aircraft can unlock growth, protect your profits, and smooth out your cash flow in a way that owning just can't. When I took over my flight school, I made the decision to get rid of all of our aircraft and only lease them. It was a great decision. No more lumpy cash flow. Buying another airplane sounds like the obvious answer, but let's be real. That down payment is a massive capital hit. $60,000 to $200,000 tied up in a single asset, plus the credit. That starts depreciating the minute you fly it. Every hour that ticks on that Hobbs is an hour closer to changing the engine. Now what leasing does is it flips that equation. You turn that giant lump sum into a predictable monthly expense. Now what that does, that frees up capital to hire more CFIs, upgrade your simulator, or even run a serious marketing campaign to get that schedule full. And the speed really matters. Good leasing partners can source a Cessna 172 or a Seminole in like a month or less. Or even faster, they can pull one from off-lease inventory so you can scale with demand right now, not 3 months from now when you close on that aircraft and, by the way, you put a G5 in it and, oh, it needs an autopilot, or it needs a lick of paint, or it's got a ratty interior and needs a new interior. Now let's talk about engines. If you own every single time that Hobbs ticks over is one step closer to a $50,000 overhaul that can wipe out a quarter or more's profit. With leasing, that risk sits with the asset owner. If the lessor covers engine overhauls, you can stop dreading that 2,000 hour mark. You just fly the airplane. Suddenly, your all-in hourly cost is stable. That stability makes it a lot easier to set package pricing, protect your margins, and it makes your cash flow forecasting so much easier. Leasing also smooths out your cash flow. Most schools intend to set aside a maintenance reserve every hour, but real business life gets in the way. Payroll, bills, emergencies, that outlanding at a field that you have to fly out and put a new wheel on because they got a flat tire, they flat spotted the tire. Dollars get in the way sometimes. A fixed monthly lease payment bakes that reserve right into your model. If you pair that with a utilization target, 70, 80, 100 hours per month, you can plan your pricing, you can plan your scheduling, and you can schedule around that goal. That airplane comes first. No more dry spells, no more rate panic, and no more scrambling to cover an overhaul. Been there. That predictability lets you focus on student outcomes, building your program, not firefighting your finances. And here's the kicker. Leasing gives you strategic flexibility. You can scale up quickly for a hiring wave, add a multi-engine track with a Seminole or a Seneca, and you can scale back if demand cools, without the drag of selling a plane, maybe in a slow market. Been there as well. With leasing, you get a partner in fleet management, plus some expert guidance on certificate planning and capital structure from people who live in this world. They're experts at managing flight school capital. And the team at APM Leasing, that's Bill and Chris, they're close friends of mine and strategic partners of Copilot. We provide the demand, more students. They provide the capacity, more airplanes. Perfect partnership. In short, leasing lets you grow when students are ready to enroll, it keeps monthly costs steady, and it helps protect your margins from the Hobbs-driven bombs that sink owner-operators. It's not just an expense shift, it's a growth lever. But what about giving up margin? I'll give up a whole bunch of my margin. Yeah, but you trade some margin for predictability. You know exactly what your bills will be per flight hour per month. There's no lumpy cash flow from engines or upgrades or overhaul, none of this stuff. It just smooths that cash flow. And let's be honest, we're in a low margin business. Anything we can do to smooth our cash flow makes a big difference in how we sleep at night. So if you're sitting on student demand but you're stuck because buying feels out of reach, leasing is probably the fastest way to unlock capacity and finally run your school like a business that scales. Do you want to see real numbers on leasing versus buying? Reach out. Leasing is another growth lever you can pull. Let's talk about how it can work for your flying school.